Welcome everyone to Locky Top Sports. We have about 35 minutes till the first Champions League game, and I thought we'd provide some extra value for you guys about what we think some of our best bets are, and also give you some previews about who's going to advance going forward in the quarterfinal stages. So now we got some traditional matchups, and relating it back to the college basketball season, we have some blue blood teams that are matched up for us. So really want to get into that and talk about these upcoming games. Remember, for you guys who are not as familiar with soccer, at this point, we still have home and away. So this is the first game of the quarterfinal, but I think in about 2 or 3 weeks we'll have the second leg. So keep in mind about that. Oh, we got a first comment from Josh Ricker. Never heard of him. Mia San Mia. Okay, so that means he's supporting Bayern Munich. I don't think that's much of a successful strategy this year specifically, but generally pretty good idea. Let's take a look at the two games we have at 3 o'clock. We got Manchester City, last year's champions, versus Real Madrid, my favorite team. I will say that I think that this is going over the total of 2.5. And if your book offers both teams to score, I think that's a good bet as well. Manchester City, really the class of soccer right now, class of football. Real Madrid, always there. They're your, perennial powerhouse like UNC or Duke or something like that. Who's always deep into the playoffs. So just some thoughts there. If we look at the odds to advance in general, Man City is about minus 225 to advance versus Real Madrid's plus 170. I will say that this will be a very tough matchup for Real Madrid. I'm a huge Real Madrid fan. Love watching their games. Love watching everything they do. But man, it's just hard to go against Man City right now. I will take Real Madrid to advance here, plus 170. Not as good or not as solid of a team as last year for sure. Like we just saw Man City draw to Arsenal, and they're really not really on the best of form. Holland looks a little bit human. So for that reason, give me Real Madrid, Vinny Jr., Jude Bellingham, the last, the great savior to Real Madrid. Also, next year we'll have maybe some other interesting players come to Real Madrid, like Mbappe from France and Alphonso Davies from Josh's Bayern Munich. So, yep, that's something to look forward there. And also we have Arsenal versus Josh's Bayern Munich. Arsenal, man, as also a Chelsea fan, like I think that this is very, very interesting for me. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be Arsenal, man. Like I hate to say it, pains me to say it. So go ahead and jump on Arsenal minus 120. Again, Bayern Munich not on form. They are a perennial powerhouse, but not really so much in recent this year at all. They're not in first place in the Bundesliga for the first time in like 10 years or so. So very, very suspect team right now. And Arsenal, you can argue, is one of the hottest teams in the world right now. So I got to go with Real Madrid and Arsenal on these to advance. Let me just check the lines for you. Arsenal is minus 130 to advance to Bayern's plus 100. Like if this was any other year, I'd say slam Bayern Munich. But oh shit, we Josh coming in. He's saying lies. He's saying Bayern lifting the whole thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is that too much wishful thinking? Too much homerism for you, Josh? I don't know. But yeah, like I think those are two good picks for today. Again, the Man City Real Madrid over, and give me Arsenal ML there. So, we have two options here because of this weird kind of pricing thing. We have the three-way money line, which is you only win if they win. And then the -1/2, which basically means the same thing in this case. But again, soccer a little bit weird in the sense that there are ties and there are draws. So something to keep in mind for you guys as soccer bettors. Looks like we got 8 people on this. Higher amount than I would thought. So thank you for joining. Definitely keep in mind that soccer is a little bit different betting wise than any other sport in the sense that there are ties. There are, there's regulation time and extra time. A lot of the times, whatever you're betting is for the 90 minutes plus injury time. So my bookie, very, 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 trustworthy guy. He makes a disclaimer everywhere you bet on soccer that this is for 90 minutes and injury time only. If something happens, let's say, and there's extra time in a game, that wouldn't count towards these bets. So just keep those in mind. That's not as relevant for the first round of these best of two games, but for the second round, that definitely comes into effect. Like I've definitely been, looking at a score afterwards and seeing like, hey, like this is weird. Like I should have hit my over, but actually in actuality, when I look at it, it happens in extra time or in a penalty shootout. That typically does not factor in for your totals. So just want to keep that in mind. I think that if we look at the first halves here, they're basically telling you that there's going to be a goal in the first half of each game. And they're basically telling you that 1-1 or 2-1 is very likely here. So they're not really predicting a shutout, so to speak, yet. I'll also cover the other games coming up here. So yeah, just want to keep that in mind for you guys. Like again, um, there will be um, there will be a lot of updates to what we talked about today so far, but also just want to keep you updated. The other side of the bracket is Atletico Madrid versus Dortmund. Dortmund, we just saw play versus Bayern Munich, and they won 2-0. So just want to keep that in mind. And PSG versus Barcelona, classic battle over Messi, battle over, Mbappe from PSG. Barcelona, like you had a lot of young kids now. A lot of the people that we knew growing up as soccer fans are gone from the team. They're either in Inter Miami or China or retired somewhere. So, young kids are taking the lead there. When we look at the odds to lift for those, PSG is a slight favorite, -135 to Barcelona's 100, plus basically 1-1. And then Atletico Madrid is a favorite versus Dortmund. I would say take PSG, but also take Dortmund. Atletico Madrid, not really in the best form right now. Excuse me. One thing I do want to note for you guys is I want to say that in soccer, you are forced to know about current events and religious happenings around the world. Right now, it's Ramadan. So a lot of your best, soccer players come from, Islamic speaking religions. In that sense, they have a very difficult time relative to normal finding the energy to train. And again, like imagine if you couldn't drink water or eat food from sunrise to sunset as an athlete, that might um, affect the game. Wow, Josh is coming in and saying Dortmund strong and giving the black and yellow colors to us. So I wonder, Josh, how can you be both a fan of Dortmund and and Bayern music, man. It's like being a fan of Yankees and Red Sox, or maybe Tennessee and Kentucky. I know that's not true, but that's those are being fans of bitter rivals. It's not really I think kosher in my book. But yeah, as I was saying, like, we just came back. We're in the midst of Ramadan. Another thing is these guys just all played for 2 weeks. uh, these guys all just played for 2 weeks on international duty, and now they're just coming back for their home team, or they're coming back for their club teams. So you just got to keep that in mind too, right? Like, these guys played some extra games. They did a lot of traveling in this international break. So it's not necessarily the best time to bet overs. Our Andy and I, we bet some overs over the weekend. While we crushed in NCAA and MLB, we lost a lot of soccer overs because we forgot about these two things. So, I want you guys to be better than me. So don't forget about Ramadan. Don't forget about this international break when you're coming into bet soccer. So yeah, just keep those in mind. I wanted to keep this episode short and sweet, and we can cover this a little bit more. Um, and yeah, we got Champions Leagues coming out next week, so I just wanted to touch base with you guys, let us know um, how you feel about what's going to happen. So Josh is saying German teams are going to crush, and I would say historically that's true. I just think Dortmund might have a better chance to crush than Bayern Munich, right? They have the more favorable matchup, right? Dortmund versus Atletico, that's close. But I don't know, man. I don't know if you want to be playing Arsenal at all in any capacity right now. Arsenal is like just as strong as they've ever been. Bayern just lost 2-0 at home versus Dortmund. That was the first time that's happened in um, you know, I think over 10 years. It was 10 games in a row. So just to give you a scope of how ridiculous that upset was that happened just this past Saturday. So yeah, again, like, champs is coming up. I know we haven't talked about soccer in a long while, and I had some free time, so I thought we'd just go for this quick post for you guys about what we think is going to happen going forward. Again, Lucky Top Sports, we're mostly a Tennessee-based sports podcast. We cover NBA, we cover NCAA, we cover NCAA football, NCAA basketball primarily. Great run from Tennessee Vols. Um, we also will cover NFL. We have a lot of people interested in baseball, so we'll be covering MLB. But every once in a while, when soccer heats up, you'll see us cover Champions League. So that's why I just wanted to touch base with the fans out there who are interested in soccer, especially to take a look at these bets coming up. I think that for the most part, this should be a good time to grab some value for the generalized soccer content out there. That would be a good time to grab some value for who you think are going to lift, or who you think are going to um, go forward. So if we'll take a look, this will be my last piece about this. Odds to win right now: City is number one, Arsenal is number two, Real Madrid, Bayern, PSG, Barcelona, Athletic Madrid, and Dortmund. I don't know, guys. I think the Dortmund ticket is a decent, super long shot. I think Real Madrid, they're basically telling you that if Real Madrid beats Man City, they're probably going to win. That's like, between the lines thinking there, that might be interested in. Odds to reach the Champions League final. This is where it kind of gets interesting because, again, this is also like a bracket style tournament. So they're basically telling you by looking at this that if you're in the Real Madrid, Man City, Arsenal, Bayern Munich side of the bracket, it's very hard to make it unless you're Man City. Um, but on the other side, if you do decently well, the fact that they're giving you Barcelona at better or at Barcelona and PSG at such low odds is kind of telling you that that side of the bracket is weak. So they're basically saying, Atletico, Dortmund, PSG, and Barcelona are pretty good bets to make it far, just because of the side of the bracket that they're on. Again, you can bet on like pairs of people to make it. So Man City and PSG is an example. Man City Barcelona is another example. I generally don't like getting into this game, so I'm not going to give you any reads on things I don't really believe on betting. You could probably just do better by parlaying these games instead of just like betting this pairing of finalists. I would not recommend that to you guys. Again, short and sweet episode. Just want to say we, as Josh said, we cover all sports. And yeah, we love doing it. And if there's a sport out there you want us to cover, let us know. Like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, we'll interact with you guys. So this has been Locky Top Sports. Locky Top out.